Now, I was just sorting all my comics and getting them all ready here. Got a lot of Daredevil. Quite a bit of Defenders, too. I got some Fantastic Four. Some old ones, some new ones. I've got Flash. Got a bunch of Flash. Anyway, point is, I was going through my comics, and I dug up a series that of course, everybody should know of this series. Marvel Team Up. Now, I just got a few issues here. Some I'm going to put up for sale, some of them I'm going to keep. But, you know, Marvel Team Up. If you're not familiar with this comic, here you go. Marvel Team Up was a series that started in 1972. And it teams up Spider-Man and somebody else. Spider-Man and the Vision, Spider-Man and Thor. We got Spider-Man and the not ready for prime time players. In other words, we're talking a cast of Saturday Night Live, circa 1977, I think. Spider-Man and Wonder Man, Spider-Man and Red Sonja. Now, I always understood them to exist in separate universes, so I'm guessing this is like a crossover, trans-dimensional sort of adventure. I don't know. Let's take a look, maybe. I don't know. It's Mary Jane, and then there's some shenanigans going on there. Appears to be a fire. Here we go. So it's not like Spider-Man goes back in time or anything like that. It's, I guess, Red Sonja is sent forward in time to take the place of Mary Jane. There she is. Ooh. So Mary Jane grabs this magic sword. You know Mary Jane, right? It's like, Mary Jane, don't grab the sword. She grabs the sword, and then blink, she's transformed, or her presence is replaced with Red Sonja. And what year is this comic? Yeah, 1978. That's pretty racy for a kid's comic in 1978. Anyway, we're Spider-Man getting all handsy with Red Sonja there. So anyway, the point of Marvel Team Up is basically to pair Spider-Man with some other, like, superhero, or in this case, I guess, comic star. Of course, we got Doctor Strange with Clea. Clea is his assistant and lover and whatever. And I wonder if they're ever going to deal with that in the MCU. But she's very different from who's the Doctor Strange's girlfriend in the first movie. Spider-Man and the Werewolf. So this is Marvel's Werewolf. This isn't the guy that was in those 30s movies, the Wolfman, Lon Chaney or whatever. No, this is a separate character, but he is the same werewolf that appears in his own comic and also crosses over in comics like these. It's the Werewolf. They're fighting. It looks to be like a scarecrow guy, but he's called the Tatterdemalion. Okay, that's an unnecessarily complicated and fancy name for this guy that, you know, gets beat up by a werewolf. Spider-Man and Machine Man. Machine Man, Google Gadget arms. Yeah, Machine Man, always with the gadgets, you know. He's basically, he's Inspector Gadget, except he's far more serious and stupid looking. Yeah, I don't know, Machine Man, basically it's extendo arms, he's got roller skates, he's got like lasers and stuff, I think. I don't know. Machine Man. Then we got another time travel kind of one. Spider-Man and King Kull. Kull is a comic book character, of course, very similar to Conan, I think created by the same author. But yeah, it looks to be, okay, we got to visit Doctor Strange, we got to go trans-dimension hopping, and or time travel or whatever, so we can have all these like King Arthur stories and shit like that. It's always, oh, let's go see Doctor Strange, he's magic, he can do anything. So, okay, so I don't see Spider-Man and King Kull in the same frame at all in here, but yeah, that's a weird one. Spider-Man's fighting a tiger, and Cull is fighting some guy with a mask on. So, okay. I guess, Marvel team up, I mean, sure. Machine Man had his own series. So, let's try and, let's throw him in the one that everybody's going to buy because Spider-Man's in it. Marvel team up. And, give them a little sampling of Machine Man so they'll go over and buy the Machine Man comic. Okay, gotcha. Same thing with King Cull. I'm pretty sure the Werewolf had his own comic, or I got some, giant-size specials or whatever. Doctor Strange, of course. Red Sonja. Wonder Man, up to this point, didn't have his own comic. He was an Avenger, though. So, and this one, I don't know, they're promoting for NBC so that kids will stay up late and watch Saturday Night Live. What year is this? This one is also 1978. Spider-Man and the Not Ready for Primetime Players. Yeah, that's supposed to be John Belushi. Dressed up as a samurai like he did in the show and was really popular. There's Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd in the background there. And then you got Thor. I mean, Thor had his own comic, of course, and this is... I don't think they really needed to promote Thor. Just a cool little adventure featuring, two of the more popular heroes. Thor was never as popular as Spider-Man, so maybe this is trying to increase Thor's popularity a little bit. Even though he's a more powerful character, he's been around just as long. Still, Spider-Man, he's the star. Everybody loves Spider-Man. Spider-Man Valkyrie never had her own comic, or didn't back in the day. She was a defender, not an Avenger, but a defender, and not the, New York superheroes, pseudo-superheroes that we see in the Netflix shows. No, not those defenders. This was the defenders with these defenders. See, there she is in the picture there. Defenders were Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, Submariner, and basically a rotating lineup of heroes. Valkyrie was frequently in that series. We got Black Widow. We got Fantastic Four, of course. Now, this, of course, isn't the first time that the Fantastic Four has interacted with Spider-Man. This is, 1980. Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man and Fantastic Four came out close to the same time. Spider-Man gets top billing because Spider-Man has more comics than most other superheroes. Now, I was surprised to find this out. When Marvel Team Up was published, this was one of 3 Spider-Man publications at the time. Spider-Man was everywhere in the 70s and the 80s. He was in every comic book, it seemed. And you would think that over the years that Spider-Man has made more comic book appearances than any other superhero. But you'd be wrong. He's actually beaten by 3 other superheroes. I'm sure you could probably guess who number 1 is. Would be Batman. Number 2 is Superman. Number 3 surprised me, though. Wolverine. I get that Wolverine is Wolverine and people like him and it's cool and there was a lot of comics in the 90s and stuff. But Spider-Man's been around since the early 60s. How could Wolverine have passed him, in that time? Well, who knows, man. Here's a good one. Marvel Team Up Annual, Spider-Man, and Alpha Flight. Now, to me, this is notable and collectible for 2 reasons. First, you got your black suit Spider-Man. This is the post-Secret Wars black suit symbiote before it had taken over Spider-Man and before he got rid of the suit and it became Venom. So we got that, and then of course we got Alpha Flight, which is one of my favorite series because they are the Canadian Avengers, basically. So I always loved that comic, featuring Puck and the Sasquatch, Marina, and North Star and Aurora. And they're fighting Benicio del Toro. Well, that's the Collector from, you remember him from Infinity War. Somehow all get collected by the Collector and they have to escape. Spider-Man and Alpha Flight teaming up. Hence the Marvel Team Up. Oh, here he is making out with the Black Cat. Sasquatch assaulting some alien creatures. Yeah, I mean, you get all your Spider-Man action in there, plus you get Alpha Flight. Like, I don't know, you can't go wrong with Marvel Team Up. Check it out. Run, Puck. Okay, and one last one I'll show you here. Keep in mind I haven't read cover to cover all of these comics, or if I haven't read them in over 10, 15 years. Spider-Man and Nomad. There's Spider-Man, again, black suit Spider-Man. I'm not sure whose hand that is, but that, in the back, with the hood, is the Taskmaster, and he's holding prisoner Nomad, who is Steve Rogers, sans Captain America outfit. Now, I don't remember much about that, and I obviously have never read this comic, or haven't read it in decades, but that ass, though. Yeah, Spider-Man and the Werewolf, Spider-Man and Machine Man, like this, you couldn't ask for a better variety. Spider-Man and Valkyrie. That's why I always preferred this one over the solo Spider-Man comics, is because, yes, of course I love Spider-Man, but I want to see other superheroes too. If I don't buy like a super team comic like the Avengers or the Defenders or X-Men or Fantastic Four, then at least I get to see two solo superheroes. Spider-Man and Red Sonja, Spider-Man and Alpha Flight. Yeah, I don't know, I just thought I'd show off some of my Marvel team-ups here. There's cool things about every one of them. They're actually all in pretty good shape. Maybe one or two exceptions. But I gotta put these guys back in their bags. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this little peek at Marvel Team Up. Have a good one, everybody.